this movie. Fuck everything. All right, I'm sorry. I apologize for that outburst, everybody. But before we proceed today, know that I really fucking hate today's movie. This is not going to be as lighthearted as some of my other reviews. No, this movie can suck the big one. Hello, I am some loudmouth on the internet with an opinion. And if you want to talk about the worst of the worst in Hollywood movies, and particularly the degradation of comedy, it doesn't take too long before a certain uncreative sweat stain comes up who goes by the name of Adam Sandler. Sandler, as you may already know, is a former Saturday Night Live comedian who had early success in movies and decided to found his own production house. Named Happy Madison Productions after two earlier characters in much better movies Sandler was in, this company would put together quote-unquote comedies for Sony Pictures. The result was some of the most horrendous, unfunny, lazy, figurative piles of dog shit ever put to a silver screen. I could devote my entire channel to ripping these horrible movies. Not a single one of them shows any signs of comedy or effort or anything remotely watchable about them. And that's a shame because a lot of the comedians featured in them were actually pretty funny before Sandler and Happy Madison got their hands on them. This came to a head in 2011 when the infamous Jack and Jill came out, a movie so amazingly terrible it received every Razzie Award there was, even dubious ones asserting that it was a remake of Glenn and Glenda. You'd think after hitting a low that hard, Sandler might try a little bit harder next time, but no. Instead, he followed it up with one of the most crass, stupid, obnoxious, and disgusting movies I've ever seen. Watching kitten torture videos on the deep web would only be slightly more horrifying and disgusting than watching this movie. In case you haven't already figured it out, well, you probably already did from the title, this is a review of Adam Sandler's back alley abortion, known as That's My Boy. And while this movie is not quite as lazy or cheap looking as Jack and Jill, it manages to be in many ways nastier and more offensive without being any funnier whatsoever. So in order to stick it to this lazy, uncreative, low-life sack of shit and all the dumbasses who still pay money to see his movies, it'll be my pleasure to rip apart this abomination. Without further ado, That's My Boy. We opened this movie in middle school in 1984, and just listen to the first line of dialogue in this movie.
Something up nuts. Read 'em and weep. Van Halen at the Centrum. Third row.
You should take Jolene, man. I heard you got big nipples.
We're only a minute into the movie, people.
Supposed to say right now?
The movie quickly gets into what all smart, intelligent comedies do. Glorifying statutory rape.
You were jumping up and down in your little Larry Bird short shorts and sweating like a jar of pickles in the hot sun.
No, I'm not kidding. That's what this movie's message is. That statutory rape is awesome as long as it's an attractive young woman victimizing a little boy. Switch the genders here and see how long any major studio would ever play a situation like this for laughs. Well, we see a kid meant to be a young Sandler talking dirty to an older attractive woman who, like all attractive women in shitty movies, walks in slow motion with a music montage in the background. Sandler here relies on his fan base being too dumb to realize there's porn on the internet.
Hey, Mary.
I am your teacher, not your girlfriend.
Whoa, Miss McGarrigle, who said anything about girlfriends? Let's just start the summer fling, couple of hand jobs, no expectations.
That is a month's detention.
Less than 4 minutes into this monkey turd, we are treated to yet another Happy Madison trope. Blatant sexism.
That was so hot.
Is this really happening?
This is happening.
It's happening right now.
Hand jobs are eating me out or taking me from behind.
I'll teach you.
I'm a virgin.
Women in Sandler movies never behave how women actually behave. And that's a very bad thing for comedy, because comedy requires some type of attachment to the real world in order to be relatable and thus funny. Comedy is rooted in pain. It's basically a coping mechanism for dealing with life's unpleasant realities. Sometimes you can point out something very unpleasant, but it will draw a laugh because people will say that's ironically true. This woman is behaving basically in a way that perverted teenage boys want women to behave, but doing so doesn't subvert stereotypes, it just panders to them. This is not only very bad for comedy, it comes across as more than a little hateful. But worse than just being sexist is the fact that this shows another trait of Sandler's movies, Sandler's massive ego. Having an attractive woman who could have almost any man be drawn to what is essentially supposed to be a young version of Adam Sandler displays something that Sandler frequently does in his movies. He loves portraying himself as some kind of sex god who women will slobber themselves over. Reality Sandler, if you weren't famous for some reason, I doubt you'd be able to get any date. No one would want a loathsome creep like you. Unless it's some of the women I've dated. Now, the next shot really proves what immature lowlifes this movie's creators are, as Donnie and the teacher's affair is exposed in front of the entire school. And get this, nobody's shocked or appalled. As a matter of fact, the entire school starts cheering him on. Yep. Hundreds of people exposed to an act of statutory rape cheer it on. And wait, it gets worse.
I am aware that a lot of people think that this young man is not really a victim, but someone that's living the ultimate teenage boy's fantasy.
We find out his teacher was impregnated from this demented affair, setting up the father-son dynamic for the rest of the movie.
30 years in the Massachusetts Women's Penitentiary. And furthermore, the court grants custody of the unborn child to Donald Berger's father.
Dumbass.
Did you see the horrible look in that kid's face? I totally believe he was really just hit. I mean, that sound effect was just too realistic to not believe.
Until Donald turns 18, at which time he will assume full custody.
Take care of our baby, Donnie!
Miss McGurkle, I'll never stop loving you!
We then follow it up with this montage showing Donnie Berger as some kind of celebrity being nothing but rewarded for this perverted, demented affair.
And Donnie Berger's back in the news.
That kid who got his teacher pregnant.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that guy.
Seems like he bought a round last night.
Okay.
For everybody in Boston Garden.
Oh my God, he's my hero.
Again, reverse the genders and then imagine following that up after a case of statutory rape. Seriously. On behalf of everyone who was ever victimized by an adult as a child, to everyone responsible for this movie, fuck you from the bottom of my heart. We then cut to 28 years later where we see a fully grown Adam Sandler, now down on his luck.
Was 3 years in prison.
3 years?
Yeah, you haven't paid taxes since '94, Donnie. But there is some good news. If you can pay the balance off by the end of the weekend, they'll suspend the sentence. $43,000.
43 grand? No!
Don't worry, it worked out just fine for this guy. Or this guy.
I got a hot tip on a long shot that just might come in.
What is it, a horse?
No, this is Tubby 2. Fat guy. Gonna run the marathon. Odds on him winning are 8,000 to 1. But this cat's got wheels on him. I think he's gonna win. I really do.
All right, I'll put 20 on the fat fuck, but I can't count on that.
Donnie decides to try to find money from his son, who he apparently named Han Solo.
World, too.
You named your kid Han Solo?
Yes, sir.
Han Solo Burger.
Coolest name in the world, right?
Why don't you just Facebook him?
I can't afford that shit. What am I, a billionaire?
I don't think he wants to be found anyways.
We meet Sandler's son, played by Andy Samberg, who calls himself Todd, wanting to distance himself from his father and the abomination of a relationship that resulted in his existence.
I don't know, it's still kind of weird, right? I mean, it's got our faces and our names. It just seems like anyone could find us.
Despite being raised by a degenerate scumbag, Todd has become very successful and has a beautiful fiancée who seems all too perfect.
We're gonna have the best wedding ever.
Holy shit, what the hell happened to my life, Champagne?
Meanwhile, Donnie continues his annoying self-pity at a strip bar, where this strips for you.
Donnie.
My face is your toilet!
Ha ha ha! Do you get it? She's fat and not attractive. Thus, it's hilarious that she would be a stripper. Get it? Laugh! Laugh! Actually, don't laugh because it isn't funny. Just weird and messed up. Davey finds out that his son is about to be engaged.
She said he was a fatty.
No. He must have lost the weight or something, because I swear to God, that's my boy.
So Todd visits his boss's summer home, and we find out that even upper-class people have no class in the universe of this movie.
Look at you. Look at you, the lovely bride. What a couple. You can tell she likes Todd for Todd. Not because he's going to be rich. I wouldn't want my boy to end up with some gold digger like the last 3 whores I married, huh? You know, every member of my staff are lucky to be in this country, so feel free to abuse the shit out of them.
Of course, that's exactly how people talk to each other in the real world. You can kind of see a pattern. Every character in this movie, even minor bit characters, are all assholes. No exceptions. So we meet Jamie's older brother Tad, who's in the military. And shockingly, he's also an asshole.
Pleasure to meet you, Chadwick.
Are you a soldier?
No.
Sailor?
No.
Airman?
No.
Well, then I'd prefer if you take your fingers away from your forehead and you shake my hand like the civilian you are. If you ever do anything to hurt my sister, I will take my government-issued service revolver, stick it straight up your flippin' poop chute, and empty the clip till you feel right.
Having no likable characters can actually work very well for a comedy. The best example that comes off the top of my head is Seinfeld. Seinfeld, though, used its nasty characters to poke fun at societal norms and people's idiosyncrasies, and it was these observations that made its humor work so well over the years that 20 years later it's still regarded as a classic. Creators of this movie, on the other hand, have nothing to say about anything. They write nasty, horrible characters because they are too stupid to write anything else. But it wouldn't be a Sandler movie without a round of pointless celebrity cameos.
We were friends for 20 years, guys.
We were friends until you banged my mother.
No ninja, no ninja, no. No ninja, no ninja, no. No ninja, no ninja, no.
Maybe I should call your mother. She'll give me the money, I know that.
What?
What?
Must be good to be Sandler and have so many friends who think they don't have enough money.
Comes in here and starts busting up my joint unless I got cameras rolling. Look, Donnie.
So Donnie finds out that if he gets his son to visit his mother in women's prison, he can get the money he needs to stay out of jail.
Hey, I'm still fucking...
Smell that? Smell it, Donnie?
What, that's not me. She probably cut the cheese.
No. Ratings. I smell ratings.
My kid is very publicity shy, so to be honest, I don't think he'd do a piece of shit show like this.
All right, here's the deal. You get yourself and your actual kid up to the women's prison this weekend. I will shoot it. I will give you 50 grand in cash. Because I'm going to guess, Donnie, you want to be visiting a prison, not living in one.
I'm sure all the brilliant filmmakers behind this movie will find something better to do with this scenario other than having a pointless liar reveals storyline, right? Right? We find out another character trait about Todd. He apparently is a genius at math.
Chad, did you know that Todd is really great with numbers? You gotta see this.
Oh, Jamie, no.
What's 452 times 77?
Beep, boop, beep. 84,304.
Freaky.
So, Todd is good at math. But this being an Adam Sandler movie, I'm sure this is going to be an excuse for a lazy racist joke. Now think about it real hard. He's good at math. What lazy racist joke do you think will be made? I'll give you 5 guesses and the first 4 don't count.
I don't know. It's just something I can do.
Are you sure you're not a Chinaman?
You guessed right. But who should show up but Donnie, here to ruin everybody's life?
Oh my God, you must be Jamie. You're like even harder than you looked in the paper.
Helen, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Sandler decides to do what he does worst. Come in and rant about nothing in particular in a stupid, ear-piercing, quote-unquote, hilarious voice.
No. Here's what happened. It was like one of them train track kind of deals. My man over here, I see him, he drops his burrito on the tracks. I'm like, all right, that happens. Next thing you know, homeboy leaps down there and he tries to retrieve the burrito. Okay? I see a train whizzing at him. I'm like, this guy's about to die and he don't know it. I fucking leap down there myself, right? And I give him a little shove in the hiney. Get out of the way, buddy!
Yes, I am a bit of a masochist for finally finishing this review. So our father-son reunion gives us some backstory of what it's like growing up with Donnie Berger as a father.
Not happening, asshole.
What the fuck did I do to you to make you hate me so much? I am fucking baffled.
Maybe you don't remember, but you were basically the worst parent ever.
No, I don't remember that, okay? You know what I do remember? You making me drive you home from the beach because you got too drunk.
It makes sense to me. When somebody's hammered, they have another guy drive home.
I was 8!
But you looked 14 because you were such a huge fat fuck. Yeah, don't you think?
Oh yeah? You want to check in on your pretty decent job? It's insulin, you dick! I'm a diabetic because you let me eat cake and lollipops for breakfast every day.
So, after glorifying statutory rape, this movie is now going to make light of childhood neglect. A man who grew up in horrible conditions with a horribly irresponsible father is portrayed as just a prude and needs to just lighten up. Sandler, do you visit child shelters and tell them, suck it up, kid? And look, I know a guy who was essentially victimized as a teenager and given the responsibility of fatherhood at a very young age would logically not have been a very good dad. But Donnie isn't remorseful at all. He is horribly dismissive. With some slight retweaking, this scene could have been a dark family drama, but in Sandler's hands, it comes across as little more than a jerk making fun of his victims.
What's up?
And the #1 movie in the country was called Ass. And that's all it was for 90 minutes. It won 8 Oscars that year, including Best Screenplay.
We are not that far off. During this time, the movie stops to have a baseball game, which has no real jokes and doesn't add to the plot whatsoever, but it's a great opportunity for Sandler to fill the scene with a bunch of product placement, and of course to further sexualize small children.
Quit showing off for the girls, buddy, they're mine. Come on.
So in Sandler's attempt to waste more precious minutes of our lives, the next 20 minutes or so is simply Sandler acting like a jackass in various different places, while everyone else is totally okay with his dick behavior, except Todd because he's just a prude.
No sports.
Now during the wedding rehearsal, Todd does what everyone does at their wedding rehearsal. He picks a childish, idiotic fight with the priest for absolutely no discernible reason whatsoever.
Maybe we should start with the father of the groom.
His father passed away.
Sounds fishy, bud.
I'm truly sorry to hear that, son.
Oh, thank you, but it's fine. He deserved it. I didn't mean anything by it. He just, wasn't a great dad.
What an odd thing to say.
My father beats me every day with a rake, but you don't hear me smack-talking him like some baby little princess not here in the house of the Lord.
I can't hear a word you're saying. All I can focus on is your shit breath.
Now then.
Okay, you know what? Let's just...
What do you want me to say? This scene is stupid. It doesn't make sense. It's not funny. Every scene in this movie is the same. Make it stop. Please. I'm just going to ignore the next few scenes, but trust me, they aren't funny. They're more pointless on funny filler. Just various scenes of crass stupidity. It's boring, it's stupid, and I'm not going to waste my time talking about it. But what is the end result of all this nonsense? A touching father-son bonding scene.
Dude, Uncle Ben's fucked up. I love you, son. I do. I've always loved you, all right? Why do you not call me Donnie when no one's around? You can call me Dad.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know if I'm ready for that, Donnie,
There. It's okay. Daddy's here. Daddy's got you. I promise I will never let anything happen to you. This is another odd staple of Happy Madison movies. They have always had these weird abrupt tonal shifts. Like, after seeing a montage of guys acting like complete douchebags, getting drunk, throwing up, all kinds of other stupid shit, that would somehow lead to this father-son bonding scene. It just, one scene doesn't fit into the other. If you want to be emotionally involving,
you shouldn't include half the bullshit that's in this movie. If you want to include this bullshit, at least be consistent with it. So after that attempt to warm the audience's heart, we follow that up with this.
Oh, what the fuck? Grandma G, what's going on? What are you doing here?
Well, you've had the fantasy, so now it's time that you try the real thing.
No, don't. I can't. Don't you? I shouldn't.
I'm going to ride you like a Model T.
We then see Todd, dead drunk, walk into his fiance's wedding room and fuck her wedding dress. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Oh my God! Do I sound okay? You puked all over my wedding dress!
It's jizz. You puked on my dress and then fucked it!
You're a madman.
I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna go to Pilates. You're gonna take that dress to the dry cleaners. And then we're gonna have rehearsal dinner tonight. And you're gonna be the normal Todd from 3 days ago, right? And you can start by taking out that stupid Duran Duran earring!
This is a great example of this movie's sexism. It acts like this woman is just a shrewdish prude who obviously isn't right for Todd, and that later leads into some genuinely messed up things she does later in the movie because she reacts with such anger to their wacky antics. No, that is a very, very justifiable thing for a woman to be angry about a man fucking her wedding dress, vomiting on it, and jizzing on it. The next day, Todd finally gives in to Davy's calls to visit his mother in women's prison, who is now played by Susan Sarandon. Fun fact, the actress who played her at the beginning was actually Susan Sarandon's daughter. I guess it's kind of clever that the younger version is played by the daughter and the older version played by the mother, but it's not very funny. I mean, honestly, if she had showed up really fat or something, yeah, that would have been crass and crude, but it would have been funnier. We then see the reality TV ambush set up from earlier take place, which leads to the classic liar-revealed misunderstanding we have seen in movies like a million times, except somehow even lazier.
Before you get mad at me.
This is why you came to see me? For some reality TV ambush? How much they paying you, Donnie?
Nothing, I swear to God. I'm not kidding.
$50,000 to deliver you to this prison.
All right, it was 50 grand, but I'm not gonna do it. I swear to God, I would never take his money.
Get your shit out of my boss's house!
No, don't do that. That's my boy there. Oh no.
I think he just shit his pants. Tell me you got that on camera.
I hate you, Dad.
But I guess they were like, who cares if it's been done a million times? What's a million more times? Donnie decides to make up for being an unbelievable douchebag by buying ice cream. Unfortunately, upon doing so, he makes a shocking discovery that this movie apparently was building up towards, but not really.
He's too good for you. He is.
That's right. Todd's shrewish prude fiancée was cheating on Todd with her brother.
Is he your stepbrother at least, or adopted or something? No reply. So it's real. Oh my God.
You know, I was so hoping this scene would end with Donnie being pushed out the window and being paralyzed from the waist down the rest of his life. But then I guess they were like, you know, that's been done already.
Yes, I've had sex with Chad from time to time. It's what good-looking people do. They have sex with other good-looking people, you know? Just so happens that this one particular good-looking person is my little brother.
Oh yeah, that's totally how it works, yeah. Siblings always start fucking each other as long as they're both good-looking.
I'm telling Todd.
No, he won't believe you. I'm gonna be a very rich woman. I can write you a big fat check. What's it gonna take for this to go away? Todd has to pop a Xanax when he loses a contact lens. What do you think he's gonna do when he finds out about this?
So Donnie takes the payoff to avoid going to jail, but he feels really, really bad about it, which I'm sure he will keep it to himself to the end of the movie, leaving him to contemplate his behavior throughout his life, his undeserved fame, and realize the consequences of his actions. Nah, That might be a bit unexpected. And remember, this is a Happy Madison movie. We have to make it as predictable as possible. Instead, Donnie once again teams with Vanilla Ice, and they go to crash Todd's wedding.
Oh, shit.
I object to these two getting married. What are my options then?
How about leaving?
You shut the hell up, you satanic hose bag! You don't love this girl. I'm telling you, I had love. It's different. It's a different feeling. Love is like... It just leads you to a special connection. It's full of, like, feelings of awesomeness and the feelings that wrap around you. It's deep in your stomach. It's in your head. It's in your fucking nutsack. It's in your dick. When it gets hard, there's still love at the tip. And it fucking sprinkles out.
You know, I'm willing to bet that speech is going to be remembered for years to come as one of the great speeches in movie history. No.
Donnie's not my best friend. He's my father. My parents didn't die in an explosion. I lied because I'm the product of an inappropriate teacher-student relationship.
Teacher-student relationship? Do you know how gross that sounds?
You're disgusting.
After confessing his real parentage, Donnie finally forces her to tell the truth.
What? Okay, she's over. What? Ah!
You fuck your brother?
Oh my God!
So after Donnie forces his fiancée to tell him about his disgusting affair, Todd sees this as an opportunity to embrace his father's dumbass ways.
Come on, baby. Come on. Todd, let's do this.
Yeah, no. Let's not do this. For the record, my name's not Ted Peterson. It's Han Solo. Named after the man who made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. And I am a burger, like my father before me. Also, I want to tell everyone here that I've got a pretty huge New Kids on the Block tattoo on my back. The heads are warped, but fuck you guys, it's funny.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? My son called me Dad! Called me Dad! That's right, the Burger Boys are back, bitches!
Yep. Since my fiancée was messed up and cheated on me with her brother, that means I should reject the adult world and become a degenerate man-child. What a reasonable conclusion to events.
Dad, let me just give you the money.
No, I'm not gonna do that. It's time for Donnie Berger to take responsibility for his screw-ups.
And it ends with Donnie doing just that. He finally learns here to grow up and take responsibility for his actions. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Donnie, are you watching? Turn on the TV, turn it on.
In reality, it ends with Donnie winning $160,000 from an extremely improbable bet he made at the beginning of the movie.
Is this the fat guy who put the money on?
$20 at 8,000 to 1.
160 grand? Come on, you.
And on that BS happy ending, the movie finally ends. See, everybody, you don't really need to take responsibility for your actions, because it's just guaranteed that some highly unlikely event will come and bail you out in the end. This movie is horrible! What a massively unfunny, unpleasant nightmare of a movie. This movie comes across like it was written by sociopaths with the IQ of a pencil. Even ignoring the fact that it is sexist against both men and women, even ignoring the fact that it's a mainstream piece of entertainment that openly and proudly glorifies pedophilia, this movie is not entertaining on any level imaginable. Every character is an asshole. There are few if any real jokes. Its lessons make no sense. Its tone's all over the place. It's just shit. Shit. An honest message to any Happy Madison fans out there: have some goddamn respect for yourself. Your lifespan is limited. I'm sure you work hard for your money. This isn't worth it. Grow up. I'm some loudmouth on the internet. You just heard my opinion.